Hello everyone, my name is Self, and it has been a fair while since the last security breach related video, and for good reason. There hasn't really been a whole lot to talk about. There has been some implications that DLC may be being worked on with the whole Chowda teasers and the Chica Chowda poster thing, but we now have official confirmation of DLC with a release year announcement and a poster for it that looks absolutely insane. Now, before we actually get into this poster for it, which has a whole bunch of juicy stuff to talk about, I want to talk about my thoughts concerning security breach and DLC. Before we get into this video, we are currently at 8,300 subscribers, going to 9K with the big goal of 10K in mind. If you aren't subscribed yet, maybe consider doing so. It really helps the channel out, and if you like the video, maybe give it a like as well. It really helps. When I first heard that DLC is most likely being planned for the game, I was really skeptical of how it would turn out, because we all know security breach released in a really bad state. There's been some patches to fix it, but security breach still has been one of the lower entries of the FNaF franchise for me, even lower than FNaF AR, and that game is pretty glitchy, but I'm actually really excited for a lot of the stuff this teaser is implying, and especially considering the fact that it is free. That is the main thing that made me skeptical about DLC, because Security Breach standalone cost $40, and I didn't really have a good time playing it, but to hear the DLC is free, that kind of makes me breathe a sigh of relief. I'm going to bring up the teaser right now, and as we can see, it is called Security Breach Ruin, and there is a lot to dissect with this teaser. Number one, it's coming 2023. Number two, there is a new protagonist. As we can see, that is not Gregory standing there. That is a new protagonist, which is going to be very interesting. But we can see up at the top, there are a bunch of panels with Gregory on it with text saying, "Help me." And we can see that this character is in the completely destroyed version of the Pizzaplex, presumably after the Afton fight, you know, where Gregory lights him on fire, then the building burns down and crumbles. It looks like Gregory did not get out after he fought Afton, and now he's trapped here. And this new character is going to be going into the Pizzaplex to try and save Gregory. We can also, off to the left, see Glamrock Chica completely burned and destroyed. And I'm honestly pretty excited. This looks really cool. Now, there are a lot of loose ends that I really hope get wrapped up by this DLC. Now, there are a couple obvious ones that probably will, because the ruin text is in purple. We know what that is. This whole thing is going to be related to William Afton again in some way. William Afton probably did not fully die after he got attacked by Blob. There's probably going to be some big final conclusion battle with him, or they're just going to keep him going for the rest of the DLCs, depending on how many DLCs they're going to do. But Afton is still definitely going to be somehow involved with this. My personal theory for what's going to happen with Afton is that after the Blob attacked him, it tried to assimilate him, which then results in Afton taking complete control over the Blob. That's what I'm personally speculating is going to end up happening, and then he actually turns into the Afton amalgamation thing that was kind of suggested in the books. Now, I know I've constantly been coming back to that whole Afton amalgamation thing, but it's such a cool concept, and this is actually the perfect time and the most sensible way to do it, and it actually goes in line with what happened in the books. The Stitch Ray threw all of the mechanical pieces into the Crusher, but then Afton ended up going into it, which then resulted in him taking over the whole thing. Now, that could make sense in the context of Blob grabbing him and pulling him up with it. If the Blob then tried to assimilate Afton, he could take over the whole mass. Or I could be completely wrong, and I'm just stuck on that idea just because I think it's cool. But there's other stuff that I hope gets wrapped up as well, such as the Nightmare staff bots. Those staff bots were completely designed after Nightmarian, and they were even called Nightmarian staff bots in the game files, but they had no explanation whatsoever. They just exist. We have no context for why they exist, and it is honestly the strangest part of Security Breach, that they throw in these Nightmarian staff bots out of nowhere with no explanation, and then they just never say anything about them again. I hope these guys get explained. There was also the whole thing with Balloon World, the Balloon Boy minigame, and the whole, like, Easter egg you could get at the end of it. Now, I never played it, but if I remember correctly, if you do it right and touch the glitches in a certain way, you can get a Easter egg at the very end of it showing some like eclipse version of the sun and moon with purple glitchy text, and that never really got explained. It just kind of exists as a neat little Easter egg, but doesn't really give much lore. Like, that kind of needs an explanation. Another thing to think about is the Chica Pizza Frenzy, I think that was called. I'm not sure what the minigame was called, but it was a minigame that was referenced in some of the messages you could get, and there was an arcade machine for it, but you could never actually play it, and it had a playable unfinished version in the game file, so at some point this was going to be playable. Now this leads to some speculations that there was some kind of ending planned, where if you beat Princess Quest and you beat the Balloon World and then you beat the Chica's Feeding Frenzy game, you would get some kind of like glitch ending. But yeah, until that final minigame gets added, I don't think we're going to get any proper explanation for what was going on there. The whole thing with these secret tapes, the secret discs that you could put in to get the therapy logs, that needs to get an explanation as well, because it's clear that one of the sessions is the therapist talking to Vanessa, and another of the sessions is the therapist talking to someone completely different, who is most likely a small child. Now, some people speculate that this was Gregory. I'm not completely sure if this was Gregory, especially considering we are definitely being introduced to a new child protagonist. It is hard to say who this other unspoken character is, but it seems like they might have been implied that they were in cahoots with Vanny or William, because the therapist mentions him or her or whoever it is being with someone who has rabbit ears and having hacked into the mainframe. I need to brush back up on those tapes, but there are some really suspicious things about it that seems to imply that they could be evil and that they might have been killing off the other therapist. That didn't really get fully explained, and we don't know who that was. Was it Gregory? Is it this new character? Is someone completely different? We don't know. Also, Glamrock Bonnie. People really want there to be, like, an official appearance of Glamrock Bonnie, and me too. Like, Glamrock Bonnie was briefly mentioned in some of the, you know, messages you could get, so we know something happened to him. We know that something happened to him that ended up getting him destroyed and scrapped, and then allowing Monty to take over as the bass player. Some people think Monty destroyed him. Some people think that he was used to rebuild Afton, but if Glamrock Bonnie is still around somewhere, maybe in that trash area, it would be really, really awesome for Glamrock Bonnie to return in this, you know, DLC. Now, something I personally hope happens is that Glamrock Bonnie serves as the guardian for this new character to replace Freddy, how Freddy was protecting Gregory. It would be awesome if this new character goes into the broken down, burned version of the Pizzaplex, finds Glamrock Bonnie, and since Glamrock Bonnie wasn't necessarily present when all of them got infected, you know, he's clean. He's not infected by Glitchtrap, and now he's trying to help this character find Gregory and escape. I think that would be a really cool way to bring Glamrock Bonnie back. That would be awesome. Let me know your thoughts on this teaser in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel, and I'll see you later. Have a good one.